right, good. He says it's good.
Good morning. Thank you, Keith. We need to get started because we have a hard stop at 10:45 because there is an 11 o'clock service today. So we need to get started. Good morning. My name is David Boatfield, and I'm the lay leader here at First Church. Thank you for being here for our first town hall meeting of the year. Kind of let you know the agenda. We'll have a brief presentation by each of our committee chairs or representatives from committees, and then we'll leave a few minutes at the end of the time for some questions and comments from the congregation. First off, I'd like to introduce who I'm up here with today. To my left, we have Kathy Cox, who's chair of Church Council, Brenda Zimmerman, who's chair of Staff Parish Relationship, Marty James, the chair of Trustees, Dennis Wise, the chair of Finance, and representing missions is Suzanne Babb. And we will begin this morning with, I believe, Kathy Cox and an update from Church Council.
Thank you, David, and thank you for having me this morning. I am extraordinarily honored that you have chose me to lead Church Council for the next year. I'm going to make my presentation really brief because all I'm going to do today is give you an update, introduce some folks, and I think that as we get on with the exciting work that the church has for us this year, I'll have more to say the next time we meet. So my next slide is our membership panel. And I'd like you all to stand up where you are if you serve on Church Council so everyone can see who you are. And I warned everybody beforehand that they would need to stand. There we go. So I would like everyone to look around and see your Church Council. These are your ambassadors. When you have questions about what's happening in the church on the various committees, these are the folks that you tap and ask so that they can either bring it back to this group or answer your questions right there when you meet them. You all can sit. Thank you. Thank you so much. And so those are your church council for the year of 2025. So please utilize them. They will be happy to be your ambassador. My next slide is only going to show you our focus and what we're going to be focused on in 2025. And apparently my type is too small. I cannot see the back screen. So I'm just going to tell you that one of the things that Church Council is responsible for is the ongoing strategy of this church. And there's a lot of exciting things happening. So I'm super excited for us to be working on this year. The Futures Committee report, as you all recall, we did have a Futures Committee that have given forth their recommendations, and Church Council will be prioritizing those and sharing the ones that we're going to be moving forward with in the next year or so. And then, of course, we're also responsible for the oversight of the financial goals for our congregation. So we'll be working on that as well. We have an open invitation to Church Council. This is an open meeting for you to attend if you so choose. If you just want to know what's going on, you're kind of having a slow Monday and you think, I got nothing to do. There's nothing on Netflix. I think I'll head on up to the church and go to the Church Council meeting. Please do. We're a fun group. We meet on the second Monday of every month in room 116. And if you have something that you want on the agenda or want us to tackle, my email is here. I am in Realm. Please feel free to email me so that we can add it to our agenda and we can have a conversation. Our next meeting is actually tomorrow night, and I know that's probably a little close, but any other time you all are welcome to join us. Other than that, unless you have any questions for me while I'm standing here, I will go ahead and turn it over to Brenda Zimmerman to give her report.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brenda Zimmerman. I represent Staff Parish Relations Committee, or SPRC. Our goal is to demonstrate hospitality to our wonderful church staff, as well as to any of you. We work to nurture our staff, help them grow in their roles, their relationship with Christ. We're also available to the district leadership and to any of you if you have any questions about the staff or about the clergy here in our church. A fair amount of what we do during the year is administrative work, particularly in the fall. So last year we did a very extensive job description review. We rewrote the performance appraisal here at the church, and then we worked with the staff to help ensure that the performance appraisals did get done timely last fall. Also, we manage, along with finance, of course, the staff budget as well as all of the benefits for our staff. As the need arises, we also work with the leadership here to fill open positions. And right now, we do have one open position here at the church. We have a part-time position open for a facility supervisor. So if you know anyone that has experience in building maintenance, working with vendors and subcontractors, we would love to have some referrals and get this position filled as soon as possible. So lastly, as I mentioned, we work very hard to, and one of our primary goals really is to build relationships with the staff here. As you know, they work very, very hard for this wonderful church as well as for all of you. So we do coffees, we have lunches, we have lots of conversation with them. So one of the things we just finished up, and it appears to have become an annual event for us, is our Mardi Gras Luncheon Trivia. Well, some of you may know Mardi Gras was last Tuesday when we had the storms here at the church. So we had no power. So it was quite interesting. We were in the kitchen with a lantern, but we did get it all done, and food was ready, and just as we're about to say the prayer, the lights came on. So it was a wonderful lunch and a very good time. So I won't take time either, but I would like for the SPRC committee to please stand as well. All right, so if you look around, you will see the representatives from Staff Parish Relations. If you would like to ask any of them or me questions afterwards, we would love to talk with you. And as Kathy said, my name and number is on Realm as well. You can contact me separately.
Good morning. I'm Marty James, and I have the honor of cheering up trustees this year. So you all know we sold the land last year. What you don't know is all of the behind-the-scenes work that's been going on since then. The trustees have been really busy with working to get a building determined. The maintenance building that we had was on the land that was sold, and it came down, and we've been using storage containers since then for the Yardbirds. We're going to be putting in a new building. It's a Morton building. It's going to go at the end of the gym. We've been working with the city to get our site plan adjusted and approved by them. We've been working with trying to get the permitting through. We've got not only the building, but we've also got new parking that's going to be coming in. We've got a new driveway that's going to be going around the building. It's going to, all be reconfigured. We've got new lighting, new landscaping. The city is requiring us to put sidewalks around the perimeter of the building. So all of this has been going on behind the scenes. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to start seeing the fruits of all of that labor soon. We have a general contractor that's going to be stepping in to manage the project for us and work with the city. So once we get all of the permitting through, it's anticipated that the building and the work should be done, hopefully, don't hold me exactly to this because of the rain, but within about 90 days. So hopefully by the end of the summer, this is going to be done. We also have a great project that you guys are going to be seeing really soon. We're going to be putting in new flooring in the gathering area, in all of the hallways, in the parlor, and in the office, including the reception area, Liliana's office, and down the hallways. It's going to be really beautiful. We've got a contractor picked out. We're going to wait until after the Miller concert on the 23rd, so the work should start on the 24th. And we're hoping to have the whole thing done by Easter. Contractors told us that it'll be done by then. It should be 2 to 3 weeks. So there's going to be a little bit of disruption while it goes on, but the end product is going to be really beautiful. And then the other thing that we've got going on right now is the parlor is being redone. The United Women in Faith have been working to really get that going. They've already purchased new furniture you may have already seen. They've started a painting project. It started yesterday, and it should be done, I think, the day before, so it's supposed to be done on the 23rd. And that room is also going to have new flooring. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. If you have questions about what's going on, feel free to reach out to trustees. We meet on, you're the second Monday? We're the second Thursday, so it's going to be this coming Thursday. So you could feel free to reach out to any of the trustees and ask any questions, or you're welcome to come to the meeting. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Dennis Wise, and I'm your finance chair for this year. And so my charts are kind of small as well, and I apologize for that. So I've got a paper copy here that I'm going to read from. I always trust paper more than I do the technology. So things I want to talk about today, I want to talk about 2024 in review, give you a little brief update on what happened in 2024. Going to talk a little bit about the overview of the plans for 2025. You've heard some of those already, but I also want to reiterate that so they can be taken in context when I actually give you a very high-level budget summary where we are financially from a budget perspective. Then talk a little bit about the land sale, the expenditures we've made to date, as well as the projected expenditures, and then kind of what we're going to have left after that's done. And then I want to talk a little bit about some of the other Finance Committee activities that we've got going on this particular year that we have coming up. So in 2024, we had an annual budget of just under $2 million. And we ended that year, thanks in large part to Nina's projections that she put together at the beginning of the year, as well as the entire staff for staying very close, if not within their particular budgets, because we did have some extraordinary expenses during the year with some repairs. You probably saw the plumbing repairs that had to take place. Some of those came out of the actual operating budget. So things like that, the whole team did a fantastic job as we went through the year. As you know, we sold the 14 acres of land for $4.3 million. And with the proceeds from that, we were able to reduce our debt from $3.55 million down to $750,000. I'm also, with the mortgage that was agreed to at that point in time, we began paying both interest and principal as part of those monthly payments that we are making. So we're bringing that $750,000 debt down just by paying the mortgage. So that's a good thing. As you may or may not know, previously on the $3.55 million, or the loan that we had previously, we were paying interest only. So it's a great for the church to be able to move towards being debt-free as we continue to move forward. We have, the trustees have put together a plan for the utilization of the remaining proceeds from the land sale. And I just want to reiterate, and you've probably heard this 100 times, is that money can only be used for capital expenditures. We can't use it for any of the operating costs that take place as we move forward from a church perspective. So moving forward to 2025, we did put together an annual budget just under $2.1 million, very slight increase, and I'll talk a little bit about those increases. But we did utilize the $20,000 surplus that we ended 2024 with to help us balance that budget. We also are utilizing a small amount from several of the accounts that we have, the reserve accounts that we have, not reserve, but that we have. We did increase the facility budget. Obviously, with a 25-year-old building, there's a lot of aging infrastructure, and we do recognize that. We did increase it, and what we actually expended in '24 was more than what the budget was. We've increased the budget for those land and buildings activities more than what we actually spent last year, but not quite as much as the trustees asked for. So we're working together there, and our plan is that we are going to use as much of the capital dollars that we have from the land sale as we can to offset that. So that budget was passed unanimously by the Finance Committee almost 2 weeks ago, and at the church council meeting tomorrow night, I will be presenting that, and my hope is that it will be approved and we'll be able to move forward with that. Moving on to the summary level, again, this isn't all of the details, but I tried to summarize the various cash receipts and expenses that we're going to have. You can see pledges and gifts obviously makes up the largest portion of that. We do have other income, and the largest piece of that is related to the reimbursement that we get from the weekday program. That's how we account for it from an accounting perspective. So you can see the total receipts there are just under the $2.1 million. With the budget that was put together and the surplus and the reserves account that we have, again, very minor there, you can see that we've balanced the budget for this year. Now, obviously, there are a lot of things we have to consider in the revenue piece of that. First of all, we are going to be having a capital campaign. We want to reemphasize to everybody that the capital campaign is above and beyond what your normal giving is. And so we've taken that into account as we've gone forward. You can see that salaries and expenses make up about 52 or 53% of the total budget that we have for this year, followed closely, or not closely, but the next largest one is the buildings and grounds. Again, it's a recognition of a 25-year-old building and what we need to do. You'll see the insurance. We don't have a quote in for that yet, but we have laid into the budget our hope that we'll be able to continue as we did last year, the buy down for any hail damage that might potentially happen. The rest of the items you can see there are apportionments. We have included the mortgage payments, which we are making every month, and does, again, and I'll repeat myself, include both principal and interest. And you can see the missions line there. I just want to draw your attention to that. This is a mission-focused church, and we get a lot of our funds from designated activities, things like the balloon festival, the golf festival, or the golf outing that we're having, all help fund missions. And so, that's why that looks lower than what is reality for what the church, the organization is spending on that type of thing. So bottom line here, you can see a balanced budget. So pleased to talk to that. The next item, or the next chart, is the land summary. Again, you can see the $4.3 million, which was the sale price. We had the commissions and the loan pay down, which left us with about $1.3 million. We've already made payments, and you can see a list of items there for design fees, the fire protection upgrade that we had to make, HVAC replacements, which were kind of a surprise, but those, the portion of those that are related to capital expenditures, we did take out of that. As was mentioned, the maintenance building, the Morton building that'll be going up, we've already made the down payment on that. So I know that the contractor's chomping at the bit, ready to put that up as soon as we can get everything cleared from the city perspective. Then the planned projects, the parking lot, obviously the biggest one. The one item that isn't included in the land sale proceeds is there was an escrow account of about $650,000 that is currently being held, and we have to make those parking lot improvements in order to utilize that. Right now, we're looking that in addition to that $650,000, we're going to spend another $140,000 to finish off the parking lot and everything that has to be done. I have the flooring in here. Late breaking news, we did receive some bids and some information. It is going to be slightly higher than that, so we will be using more of the remaining capital funds to finish out that particular project. And then the other large project that's on the books potentially is the sanctuary lighting. That will leave us around $200,000. The plan was that we would use that as necessary. We were planning from a finance committee to budget about $50,000 a year to cover those capital expenditures. So you can see that money is gonna be used very worthwhilely, but it will also dwindle very quickly as we proceed forward. The next item that I wanted to talk about, some of the other planned activities that the Finance Committee has. We're going to do an audit of all of our financial records. That includes both the weekday program as well as the church. That hasn't been done since pre-COVID. It's time for us to get that done. Not that we think there's any problems there, but it's just a good practice to do that. And the Book of Disciplines requires us to do that as well. So we are preparing a capital asset financial summary. Basically what that is all the capital assets. That way we can utilize those that to hopefully diminish what the audit costs are going to be. So we're trying to do as much of that internally as we can. Again, Nina and her team are going to be do a lot of the nuts and bolts. We've also had the trustee committee do their review and dig into what is a list of all the capital items that we have here as well. We are recommending the implementation of a conflict of interest certification. This would be for all of the staff members and anybody in the church who meets with our contractors, has anything to do with the financial aspects of the church. Again, just a good practice. Commercially, it's done at most major corporations. I know the Boeing company has me sign one every January. Got to be done or you're off the payroll. So again, it's just a documentation thing, but it defines what we really believe in. And the final thing is the documentation of the policies and procedures. That's something that we don't have, but we want to strengthen as we go forward. So a lot of activities. And to get me off the stage, we are in a solid position, FUMC. We got a plan for the maintenance, and the capital campaign is going to help us drive to be debt-free. I know Pastor Matt would like that to be by December. So with that, we'll be able to reduce those costs as we go forward through this year as well as into the coming years. And also I just wanted to mention that our giving has continued to increase year over year. We've seen a couple percentage points each year, so right trajectory there. So I'll turn it over, get off the stage now.
Good morning. I'm Suzanne Babb. Allison Gild and I are co-chairs of the Mission Committee. My goal today is to provide you with an overview of the upcoming opportunities for you to participate in the FUMC Plano missions. You can see here, these are the 6 pillars of our missions. We are a missions church, and we have a very well-rounded missions perspective. Next slide, please. I would like to remind you that our website states that we are a community of diverse believers, and the bond that we have with one another is our relationship with Jesus Christ, always striving to connect God and grace to self and community. Today, the Missions Committee is calling you to join us in this important connection. Whatever your gift is, we have a mission for you to participate in. Next slide, thank you. Here's a highlight of the upcoming mission opportunities. I'm not going over all the missions that we're involved in. I'm focusing on the upcoming opportunities, and the handout that you might have received is a reminder of these opportunities. On the international phase, we have Reach Out Honduras. This amazing ministry was started in 2010 by Jim and Dee Parker's daughter and son-in-law, Laura and Alex Waits, to show the love of Christ in the remote Honduras region of Las Mosquitia, didn't say it right, the land of the forgotten people. Contact Stacy Spears to learn more about the upcoming trip to help the Abundant Life Institute and its mission this summer. Mental health. Wellspring Counseling Center first began as a ministry in this church. They provide affordable mental health services to support individuals and families in our community. They have an upcoming fundraiser, Minute to Win It dinner and silent auction. It's May 3rd. That date changed in between me submitting these slides. It's May 3rd. Please purchase a ticket and come to this fun event, and consider donating items for the silent auction. Our next pillar is the community. We host a community yard sale twice a year as a Fit Missions fundraiser. We completed our yard sale for the spring yesterday. While the weather did impact the number of vendors and shoppers that we had, it was still successful. Your next opportunity to either sell or participate or volunteer is in October. The Carter Blood Drive. The Carter Blood Care Center provides life-saving transfusion resources to more than 200 medical facilities in over 50 counties throughout North, Central, and East Texas. We here in our church host blood drives to make it easy for you to donate. Our next blood drive is Sunday, April 6th. Quilts for Kids makes and donates quilts, hats, and throws to hospitals and clinics for the children that are being treated there. They meet the 2nd and 4th Sundays. Consider coming if you are a sewer or if you just want a fellowship. Tuesday, March 11th, or the next meeting will be March 25th. Trusted World was established to help resolve situational poverty by providing a more effective donation process for clothing, food, and personal care items, so that the organizations working with those who are facing situational poverty can focus on their core mission. Please consider bringing your gently used clothing to place in one of the Trusted World bins near our church doors. Mission Together is a planned church event to give our members an opportunity to work together on selected missions. Our next opportunity is May 4th. Please be watching for opportunities where you can participate. Homelessness. The Excellent Ministry, we provide boiled eggs for distribution on Mondays and Thursdays at the People Who Love People events. We need boilers. We need you to help us boil eggs. If the cost of the eggs is too high, contact Allison, Stacy, or myself, and the church will provide the money for purchasing the eggs. If you can provide the time to boil them, package them in groups of 2 eggs per package and label them PWLP, People Who Love People. Bring them to the church on Sunday or Wednesday. And the eggs don't need to be peeled, just boiled. That leads me to People Who Love People, which is a faith-based group of people who come together to share breakfast, manna bags, and sandwiches with the homeless. The team meets at God's Food Pantry on Avenue K at 7:10 a.m. every Monday and Thursday morning. The commitment is approximately 20 minutes. You're done by 7:30. Please consider coming tomorrow, March 10th, or Thursday, March 13th, or any Monday or Thursday. God's Food Pantry provides food for those in need via their open door policy. Please bring food items. We collect every Monday, the first Sunday of every month. Our next designated collection is April 6th. Of course, you don't have to wait until then. And another homeless mission that we have is Loads of Love. That's our newest mission, whereby we provide laundry supplies and a light snack to members of our community in need. This mission is in transition as we are starting at a new location right down the street from the Assistance Center of Collin County, while we work to utilize the newly gifted 2 commercial washers and dryers in a more permanent location, actually in the Assistance Center. The next Loads of Love opportunity is Thursday, March 27th. This is an important mission. We've learned that people who are homeless actually say it's cheaper to go to Goodwill or Salvation Army and pay 25 cents for a shirt than it is to do the laundry because it's so expensive. And we're getting known for this mission. We want to continue it. Vision 2020 was started as a way to assist those who are homeless, while we in our church gather 20 volunteers one Sunday each month to spend 20 minutes assembling manna bags. We provide those manna bags to our friends at People Who Love People on those Mondays and Thursday mornings when we're distributing. We need items donated, and the list of those items that we look for are on that handout that you have. Please consider donating food items and helping us pack the manna bags March 16th. You'll notice that Jane Borland is always out there in the Gathering Center, and it's a very fun and quick event. On our education pillar, we have so many of you mentoring children at Dooley and Memorial. We also will be providing teacher appreciation events in May, and we're looking at offering Loads of Love to some of those families in those schools. Finally, the golf tournament is upcoming. It's an important fundraiser for the missions. It's going to be October 7th. Watch for more information. You have your handout. If you have an idea or a need that hasn't been addressed, please reach out to Stacy, myself, or Allison. We are on Realm. Before I leave, could any members of the mission committee who are here, please stand. Okay, thank you. I want to leave you with this challenge. As a member of this community of diverse believers, how can you utilize your gifts to connect God and grace to yourself and your community? Thank you.
Okay, how's that? We said 10:35 for questions. It's 10:34, so we're doing well. So at this point, we'll open up the floor for any questions or comments you may have, and we'll have a mic circulating. So just raise your hand and we'll find you, and we have one right here in the front.
I just need to know what time the council meeting is tomorrow night.
7 o'clock. Room 116. Absolutely. Anyone else?
Okay, over to your right, Kathy.
Sometimes or most of the time I was late and there was no parking for me. And could we use those grasses to park? And also, is it all right for that garbage to be there near the sign? Over there, the garbage, the trash.
The first question is about parking on the grass, and I apologize, I am not qualified to answer that question. Someone else here qualified? How are we handling that?
I would say if the need is there, park there.
Because we want you in church, so yes, park in the grass if there are no other parking. And the trash issue, maybe Marty can connect with you offline just to figure out exactly where the location is that you're talking about so that we can resolve that. Marty, does that work? That works. Wonderful, thank you. Thank you so much. Any other questions?
I believe we are live streaming, so if you are watching on the live stream, you can submit a question, and we'll get that answered as well. So,
Oh, a moment. Sure wore my flats today.
I'm just curious what the plan is for the sanctuary lighting.
should be.
So the spots that are right here, we're trying to upgrade because most of them don't work. And what we're hoping to do you guys all like the Christmas, the way that we have the lighting set on the Christmas and the way that it always looks up there? We rent those. And so what we're hoping to do is replace these lights up here so that we can have that same effect. Does that answer your question?
Any other questions? Oh, yes. I'm fine.
I was just going to say thank you so much. This is so encouraging. I really appreciate you guys and all the work you guys have done. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, great. Then if you would please stand and join me in a word of prayer, we will dismiss. Lord, we give you thanks for the opportunity to be here today and share our mission and ministry for this your church. We give you thanks for these, your servant leaders, their commitment, their passion, their drive to carry out your will for this church and this community. We ask that you be with us to keep us in mind that in all steps of our life, everything we do should be to your glory and to glorify your name. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you for being here.